Help me reach 7,000 subscribers. Please like the video and share your thoughts in the comments. Your feedback helps make the content better. She had one heel on, one heel off, eyeliner steady as a surgeon, leaning into the bathroom mirror like the apartment was a green room, and I was a stagehand who'd wandered in by mistake. Club night. Lauren tossed without turning. Tasha's got a table. You coming or staying grumpy? I hung my jacket on the chair, kicked off my boots. How about we don't yell over bass? I've got a roast, cold beer, and a couch that doesn't charge a cover. In another life, she smirked. Or another Friday. That's twice this week. I noted, not accusing, just accounting. We were supposed to finish the shelving. She clicked the second heel, not even blinking. Shelves can wait. Music can't. Enjoy it, I told her, picking up the mail. Text me where you land. She waved the phone. You act like I disappear. If I'd known where that line was headed, I'd have treated it like a flare over dry brush. She left in a cloud of perfume and high spirits. I ate alone, turned the game on mute, and stared at the half-installed brackets on the living room wall. 2 nights in 1 week meant momentum. Momentum doesn't stop on its own. Morning, she tiptoed in with shoes in hand. You're up early. It's 9. I replied, watering the small plant she'd forgotten existed. I start at 6. She leaned on the counter, hair in a knot, eyes soft. You're mad. I'm not 12, I said. I'm tracking patterns. Nothing's wrong, she stretched. I like to blow off steam. You like to fold blankets into squares. We can like different things, I shrugged. We just can't pretend the clock stretches. She poured coffee, added too much sugar, and changed the subject like only she could. I let it pass, for the moment, because picking a fight over breakfast is how people who enjoy fights spend their mornings. I enjoy results. By lunch I'd made my first adjustment. I sent her a note. New ground rule. If you're out after 10, I'll lock up and go to bed. If you want me involved, send location by 9:15. If not, it's your night, not our night. No drama. Just a policy. She replied with a winky face I didn't deserve. That evening, when she floated, maybe out again, depends, I put my phone down. I've got a long day tomorrow. I'm not your logistics team. If you're home by 9, I'll grill. If not, I'll be asleep. Okay, Captain Serious, she laughed. No need to post rules on the fridge. I'm not posting, I said. I'm living by them. She didn't love that line. She left anyway. 2 days later, she came by my shop around noon. My foreman, Marco, is the kind of guy who talks with his eyebrows. They climbed when she walked in with a paper bag and a bright smile. Truce lunch, Lauren announced, setting the bag on my cluttered desk. Turkey, no mayo. I remembered. Marco glanced between us. I'll check the back stock. He vanished. She slid into the chair. I know you think I'm avoiding you. I'm not. I just get restless. You know this. I also know I'm not a coat rack. I answered, unwrapping the sandwich. I work hard. I don't need to compete with speakers. You're not competing, she insisted. It's different lanes. So let's mark lanes, I countered. Friday is ours. No girls' nights, no nothing. Book it now. She lit up. Done. Friday. I'll plan something nice. 7, I added. If you're late, I'll pivot. You're charming when you're threatening logistics, she teased. Not a threat, I said. A calendar. She put a hand over mine. I hear you. I wanted to believe it. I allowed half credit. Friday at 6:50 I set out plates. At 7:10 I got a text. Tasha had a meltdown. I'm helping her change, then I'm leaving. 20 minutes. At 7:40, another. Traffic. Don't be mad. At 8:20 she walked in with guilty eyes and a bottle of cheap bubbly I didn't open. I messed up. She opened, dropping her purse. I really wanted it to work. It could have, I replied, stacking the plates back in the cabinet. You chose something else. Tasha was. I'm not dating Tasha, I cut in. I'm with a woman who says we're a team. I am on your team, her voice rose. Teams show up, I said. She got quiet, like she realized she was losing the point and might need another one. Let's make tonight count. No lecture. The lecture was last week, I said. Tonight is notes from the meeting. We're moving Friday to Sunday at 4. Early. No amp can scream at us then. 4 in the afternoon, she scoffed. Like a retirement home date? Like a couple that cares more about seeing each other than being seen. She stared, calculating. Then she exhaled. Fine. Sunday at 4. We ordered takeout. She sat close. We laughed at a dumb show. It felt easy for 2 hours, like scrubbing a stain and convincing yourself it's gone. Sunday, she actually hit 4 on the dot, with cupcakes from the bakery down the block, and that look that says, "See, I can adapt." We took a walk. We talked about the house list. She kissed me on the porch and didn't smell like a concert. I thought, maybe this finally clicks. Monday, Tasha posted pictures of a neon room and a caption about therapy on the dance floor. I don't follow Tasha, but people send you things when they worry you're being made into a fool. I ignored it. 2 illusions don't make a plan, they make a magic trick. Wednesday was neighbor night at Alyssa and Ben's place. A backyard spread with burgers, cornhole, and people who use weekdays to live normal lives. Lauren promised she'd keep it low-key. I wore a clean shirt and brought potato salad. 30 minutes in, Lauren was surrounded by a small fan club, Alyssa, Tasha, and 2 newer faces. They wanted to talk about music, outfits. Last time we went out, she was in her element, hands moving, eyes bright. Alyssa tipped her head toward me. "You look tired, man." "Long week," I said. "I like chairs. Bars forget those exist." Lauren drifted over, plucked the beer from my hand, and took a sip. "Don't let him fool you," she grinned to the group. "He's secretly 80. 78, I deadpanned. "And proud." Tasha laughed too loud. "We should get him out. Breaking those hips." "There's a rule for that," I said mildly. "I don't do rescue missions in rooms that smell like smoke machines." Translation, Lauren rolled her eyes. "He wants me home by 9 with a permission slip." Translation, I returned. "If it's a couple's plan, I show up. If it's a single's plan, I don't carry the coats." Ben, flipping burgers, raised an eyebrow at me like, "Be sure of your footing on this ledge." I was sure. Alyssa cut the tension, offering dessert. The group scattered. Lauren stayed. "You embarrass me when you talk like that." "I set a boundary," I said. "You sound like a lecture series. Better than sounding like a bouncer at my own front door." She stepped closer, dropping her voice. "After this, we might go to Logan's. Tasha needs to talk." "Then talk," I replied. "But I'm leaving at 9. Ride with them or catch a car home." "So you're not even trying?" "I'm done being your safe backup plan," I said. "Pick your night." "I'll pick mine." She scanned my face for anger and, not finding any, looked annoyed at the purchase. At 8:50, I rinsed my plate and thanked our hosts. At 9, I was in my truck. She waved me off with 2 fingers and that half smile that says she expects me to fold later. Around 11:30, my phone buzzed. "Heading to Logan's." "All good." At 1, another. "Might stay a little." "You're asleep anyway." At 2:15, nothing. At 2:30, nothing. At 3, my patients put on a coat and took a walk without me. Next day, I worked a double. A vendor delayed deliveries. A client wanted a miracle with no materials. By 5, I'd been chewing dry air and burnt coffee for 10 hours. I drove home in silence, not even the radio. The sky felt like a lid. Her shoes weren't by the door. The house was museum quiet. The roast pan I'd left to soak was untouched. I texted, "Where are you?" A minute later, "Out. Chill." "Where?" "Downtown." "Don't start." "Who with?" "Don't be that guy. Answer the question." A pause. Then, "I am not your property. Stop trying to track me. Everything's under control." That line snapped something clean. Not a tantrum. A conclusion. "Understood," I wrote. "If clubs and parties are your priority, stay with them. Stop coming back to my house and pretending you're my wife." 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Then a call. I didn't take it. She called again. I turned the phone face down and went to the garage. I pulled the old duffel from the shelf, packed basics, and checked the lease in the file drawer to remind myself whose name sat alone at the top line. At midnight, I heard the door, fast steps, a purse hit the counter. "Are you serious?" She stood in the hall, eyes blazing. "That text." "I'm done being ignored," I answered. "Actions, consequences. You can't kick me out of my life because I had a late night." "I'm not kicking," I replied. "I'm stepping out of the way. If your lifestyle needs space, take it. Somewhere else." "You think I'm with other men," she fired, chest heaving. "Just say it." "I think you put me last," I said. "That's a different insult." "That is unfair." "So is asking me to be your quiet doorman," I returned. She took a breath, then another. "I'm not leaving," she announced, marching into the bedroom. "That's your call for tonight," I said. "Tomorrow I'm moving to the condo by the yard for a week." You can decide if you want a marriage with rules or a roommate with a suitcase. You're punishing me. I'm protecting myself, I said. There's a difference. She slammed the door. I slept on the couch with my keys in my pocket. In the morning, she was gone, and so was the photo from the dresser. Fine. Symbols first, choices later. At work, Marco handed me a coffee and didn't ask until 10. You okay, boss? I'm correcting a course, I answered. That a yes or a no? Yes, I said. And no. At noon, she pinged. We need to talk. Tonight. I'll cook. I'll be at the condo, I responded. Keys on the hook. Leave yours if you move out. At 6, she showed up at the condo with a bag of groceries and an apology face that could floor a choir. I made chicken and green beans, she said. Your favorite. I opened the door and stood aside. She set the bag down, went straight to the tiny kitchen, and got to work like nothing had been said. I let it happen. Food is fuel. Talk is currency. We ate at the small table. She reached for my hand. I let her hold it. I messed up, she started quietly. I hear you now. What do you hear? That you need to matter when the sun goes down, she said. That I've been selfish. That I made you the backup plan. All accurate, I replied. I'll change, she said. I'll scale back. 2 nights a month, tops. I'll text. I'll call. I'll share my location. Whatever. Not interested in a parole bracelet, I returned. I'm interested in a plan. She swallowed. Okay. Plan. Alternate weekends, I laid it out. One for us, one for you. Weeknights are home unless we both agree, otherwise 48 hours in advance. Shared calendar. No surprises. Discretionary spending gets split. If you break it, I disengage. No fights. Just facts. That's strict, she hesitated. That's adult, I said. She reached across, squeezed my arm. I can do that. Then do it, I answered. Not tonight. Not in speeches. In weeks. She put her head on my shoulder like we were already through it. I didn't push her away. I also didn't move the duffel. 2 days of predictability followed like a gift. She was home by 9. She asked about my day with real eyes. She brought me coffee to the shop and kissed me in front of Marco just long enough to make him groan and say, "Get a room." That was the second illusion, big gestures draped over thin beams. On Friday, before our planned movie night, Tasha called while we were assembling a pizza. I could hear the whine through the speaker. Don't, I warned gently. She's spiraling, Lauren said, eyes already on the door. It'll be quick. We have a rule, I reminded her. 48 hours. This is the opposite. 30 minutes, she offered. 45 max. That's not how agreements work, I said. She needs me, she pushed. And I need a partner, I countered. She looked at me like I was asking her to choose between water and air. I'll be back, she said, grabbing her keys. If you go, I answered, I won't be here. She froze. You'd leave over this. I'd enforce what we set together, I said. If rules are flexible, respect is too. She set the keys down, breathing hard. You're unbelievable. Or consistent, I said. She picked the keys up again. 40 minutes. I folded the pizza box, slid it into the fridge, and wiped the counter without hurry. Make it count. She left. I locked the door. I didn't wait. I took the pizza with me to Marco's garage and watched him rebuild a carburetor while we ate and didn't talk about my marriage for 20 minutes. Then he grunted. She gone. For the night, I said. You know your answer. He added, not looking up. You're trying to make it kind. Kind is fine, I replied. Blind is not. By the time I got back to the condo, my phone had 4 messages. The first was, I'm coming back. The second was, you're making this worse. The third tried to sweeten. I'll make it up to you all weekend. The fourth was a photo of candles on our coffee table and the caption, let's reset. That last one would have worked on me 2 months ago. Not anymore. I stayed put, sent one line. Weekend plan stands. Mine, not yours. Saturday morning she knocked, hair down, wearing the sweatshirt she knew I liked. Can we please stop this? She said as soon as I opened. I cooked. I cleaned. I agreed to your calendar. You act like I'm a criminal. I act like a man with standards, I replied. You broke what we agreed. So I adjusted. Enjoy your weekend. I'll enjoy mine. You're pushing me away. No, I said. I'm stepping back from being dragged. She tried a new angle. Let me come with you today, wherever you're going. Car show with Marco, I said. Shop stuff. Loud engines. Older guys talking about paint, not your crowd. I'll survive, she offered quickly. I'll be quiet. Today's not a couple's plan, I said. Next weekend is. That's the point. She looked wounded, then determined. I'll wait. We'll hang tonight. No, I answered. Tonight is not yours. I went. The show was ordinary and perfect. Sunshades, bad hot dogs, good stories. Marco leaned on a fender. You gonna burn it down? He asked. Not with fire, I said. With clarity. Sunday night, I returned home to get more clothes. She was sitting at the kitchen table, hair brushed, makeup light, eyes red. A stack of printouts lay between us. Our bank statements. Our calendar. A list of dates. I did my homework, she said, voice even. I tracked every night I went out. I tracked every time I invited you. I tracked every time you said no. I Saturday, all right. I am not straying, she said, steady. I don't talk to other men. I dance with my friends and come home. You may not like it, but don't paint me dirty. I never did, I replied. You hinted it, she shot back. You said pretending you're my wife. That means you think I'm behaving like I'm not. I said pretending because you treat me like furniture, I answered. Not because of who you dance near. Her face shifted. This is what I needed you to say 10 days ago. I needed you to hear it before last Christmas, I returned. She pulled a tissue, didn't use it. If we're this far gone, say so. Say you want out. I stared at the list, the ink, the earnestness. Somewhere under the calculation was a real woman who didn't want to lose the stage and the home, and was trying to thread a needle most people can't. I could respect the effort and still refuse the result. This isn't a home, I told her. It's a layover. She flinched. So you do want out? I want respect, I said. If it lives here again, maybe I stay. If it doesn't, I leave. And I won't wait under strobe lights for it. Her shoulders dropped, a small collapse. I love you, she said simply. You think I don't, but I do. I want you. I want us. I need noise sometimes. Stillness scares me. I'm not your therapist, I answered, gentle but firm. I'm your husband. My job isn't to be ignored while you fix a mood with a speaker. She swallowed. Give me one more chance with real rules. Please. You already got one more, I said. Then two. Then cupcakes. Then candles. Her eyes wet again. Don't do this, she whispered. I'm not slamming the door, I said. I'm just not keeping it unlocked for the version of us that keeps leaving. Her hands trembled. She gripped them together to stop it. So what now? We split calendars for real, I told her. You live here. I live at the condo for a month. We meet once a week at Alyssa and Ben's place, neutral ground, to see if there's a version of us that exists without you needing to be somewhere else every night. You're moving out, she said flatly. I already did, I corrected. Now I'm naming it. That's a separation, she said. It's a test I can measure, I replied. Pass or fail. No middle. She stared at the table. And if I don't pass? Then we stop pretending, I said. We split with dignity, not with shouting. She pressed the tissue hard against the corner of her eye, looked up at me, and nodded once like she was saluting something she didn't choose. Give me the week, she said. I'll show up. Good, I said. Tuesday. 7. Alyssa's. She blinked. There. Witnesses keep people honest, I said. She almost smiled. You would. I would, I answered, standing. And I will. Tuesday came. Alyssa handed us iced tea and a patio table. Ben busied himself with the grill, close enough to hear, far enough to pretend he couldn't. Lauren took a breath. I went out Saturday, she started, choosing to confess before I forced it. I know I wasn't supposed to. I wanted to prove I could stop after 2 hours. I did. I came home at 10. I was proud of myself. Gold star, I said dryly. It matters to me, she pushed back. And it matters to me that we made a rule and you broke it to test your willpower, I returned. That says the rule is your obstacle, not our safety. Alyssa glanced over. Ben flipped a burger with the focus of a surgeon again, and I wondered if all neighborhood grills doubled as marriage courts. Lauren leaned forward. I hear how that sounds. I do. But I did come home. And I wasn't there, I said. Because the rule works both ways. She turned to Alyssa. Can I talk to him alone? Stay, I said to our hosts, not unkindly. If this keeps turning into private edits, nothing changes. Lauren considered exploding. Then she deflated. I love my nights, she said quietly. They make me feel young. Alive. Not boring. You've never been boring, I told her. You just got bored at home and blamed the room instead of yourself. She straightened. So what do you want from me? A script? A bedtime? I want a partner who keeps her word, I said. If your word keeps changing, we're not equals. I'm a safety net and a lecture. She looked at Alyssa. Do you think I'm wrong? Alyssa hesitated, then chose honesty. I think you want both lives, and you're losing both. Lauren nodded like the verdict came from the jury, not me. Okay, she whispered. I can't promise I'll never go. I can promise I'll keep to the plan we made. For real. No last-minute rescues. No quick stops. If I break it once, I'll be the one to end this instead of making you do it. That was the first adult sentence she'd offered in weeks. I filed it, nodded once. All right. Try again. For 6 days, it looked different. She came home early. She asked. She offered alternatives. She sat with me through a movie that wasn't her thing and didn't comment once. She fell asleep on my chest without reapplying anything from the makeup bag. I started to relax by inches, not miles. Then Saturday hit. Tasha's group had an event. Lauren's name was on a list. It was the kind of thing she lived for. She stood in the doorway in jeans and a simple top instead of the sparkly armor. And I thought, progress. I'm staying, she announced, setting her keys on the table like a trophy. Let's order and be boring together. Careful, I smirked. You'll catch it. She grinned, kissed me, and curled up while I scrolled through options. 10 minutes later, her phone lit with a stream of messages. I watched her watch them. Her eyes did that flicker thing I'd learned to see. She set the phone face down, then flipped it back, then chewed her lip. Go, I said, not cruel. You're somewhere else already. She opened her mouth, closed it, then laughed like I'd told a joke to save her. I'll only. No, I cut in. Not tonight. Not for an hour. Not with conditions. If you're going, you're going. And if you're going, we're done pretending this works. She stared at me like I'd put a form on the table she didn't want to sign. That's not fair. It's real, I said. Pick. She stared at the door, then at me. Then she reached for the keys she'd set down like a promise and said the sentence that finally ended the debate in my head. I'll be back later, she murmured, eyes already walking away. I didn't chase. I stood, picked up my duffel, and zipped it. I wrote one line on a sticky note and left it on the counter. Your freedom doesn't require my permission or my presence. Take the first. You don't get the second. I locked the door behind me. I didn't slam it. People who slam want to be heard. I wanted to be done. For 3 days she called, texted, deployed every version of warmth and fire she knew. I answered none. Then I sent one message. Meet me at the apartment tomorrow at 6. Last talk. She came early, napkin in hand like she'd walked out on a dinner for this. Please don't do this, she started, voice already cracked. This isn't a marriage because I went out too much? That's insane. People survive worse. People survive a lot of things, I said. They don't all call it living. You think I betrayed you? She pushed, almost yelling. I think you broke us 100 small times and asked me to hold the pieces while you danced, I replied. I love you, she said again, infusion on repeat. Love isn't a hall pass, I said. And it's not a reason to stay where respect has to beg. She wiped her cheek with the napkin and kept her eyes on mine. I never stepped outside, she said. Not once. I asked you to come. If I had hidden motives, would I have done that? No, I admitted. You didn't hide. You flaunted. Different problem. Then why divorce? She whispered. Why in something that could be fixed with a calendar? Because the calendar isn't the fix, I said. It's the reminder you need a curfew to make room for me. I'm not interested in being penciled. She covered her face for a second and then dropped her hands. Is there any version where you stay? There's a version where we both keep our dignity, I answered. It starts with me leaving before we hate each other. She slumped. Then she squared up, finding the last of her pride. If you walk out, that's on you. It is, I nodded. And so is everything after. I packed the last box. She stood in the doorway like a line I was crossing. I stepped past it, paused, and gave her the sentence I knew she'd hear when the music finally stopped. You wanted 2 lives. Keep the one that keeps you up at night. Mine ends at a door with my name on it. I left my key on the table. I took the truck I'd paid for, the tools, the plant that only lived because I watered it, and the peace I hadn't felt in months. 6 months later, I wake before my alarm in a house that doesn't echo. It's a small place with clean lines and a porch that makes sense in the morning. There's a sensible SUV in the driveway that doesn't break down and a motorcycle in the garage that I take on quiet roads when I don't want anyone to talk. Business is good because I have the energy to show up early and leave late. Marco runs the floor with jokes I can finally enjoy. The shelves in my living room are level. On Thursdays, I play cards with Ben and a couple of guys who work with their hands and minds. On Sundays, I hike with Claire, who is calm where I am flint and who thinks a good night is one where nobody takes a picture. She doesn't need noise to feel alive. She needs plans she can trust. I like that about her. I also like that when she says she'll be somewhere at 7, she is. Lauren's name comes up sometimes. Not from me. Alyssa mentioned in passing that the apartment got quieter after I left, then louder again, then quiet in a different way. Someone else lasted a month and ran when he realized he was a layover too. Eventually, the post slowed. That's all I know and all I need to know. I don't walk past the old building. I don't count the nights I used to stay awake wishing bass would become a heartbeat. I don't wait for apologies. I don't require villains to justify my exit. People ask if I regret it. I don't. I regret waiting as long as I did to call a mismatched life what it was. You can love a person and still refuse to be treated like furniture. You can want their smile and still insist on respect. You can walk away without burning anything and still never look back. Hard lines don't make you cruel. They make you clear. And clarity, it turns out, is the only music I needed. How about a like, dear viewer, and a subscription with the bell on? Thanks so much.